Hello, today we are talking about one more literary term, a new literary term that is called monologue. When we are talking about monologue, first of all, we should know about what is monologue. I mean, definition of monologue. Monologue comes from the Greek words monos and the logos. Monos, which means alone, and logos, which means speech. It is literary device that is the speech or verbal presentation given by a single character in order to express his or her collection of thoughts and ideas aloud. Often such a character speaks directly to audience or to other character. Monologue are found in dramatic medium like films and plays, and also in non-dramatic medium like poetry. Now we talking about the types of monologue. There are two types of monologue. Number one is interior monologue. In interior monologue, a character externalizes his thoughts so that the audience can experience his internal thoughts, often found in plays, movies, and novels. This technique is also called a stream of consciousness. Internal monologue can be broken further into two categories: direct and indirect. In direct interior monologue, an author does not show his presence and directly reveals his character. In an indirect interior monologue, an author appears as commentator, as guide, as presenter, and as selector too. Now, we the second type of monologue is dramatic monologue. In this type of monologue, a character speaks to a silent listener. This type has theatrical qualities, hence, it is known as dramatic monologue and is frequently used in poetry. Now, the question arises here that what is the difference between the monologue and the soliloquy? Monologue and soliloquy are similar as both are speeches presented by a single person, but a major difference between them is that in monologue, the speaker reveals his thoughts to the audience or to any other character, whereas in soliloquy, he expresses his thoughts to himself, and it does not involve any other characters. Now, what is the function of monologue? The purpose of writing in monologue is to convey an idea or viewpoint through words. However, sometimes we notice a tricky part of a writer's expression, as the opinions of a speaker and the writer do not match because he tried to convince the audience and may not tell the exact reality. It allows readers to move from one character to another and to have insight into their imagination. A monologue serves as a basic source through which the writer expresses their emotions and thoughts. Here I want to give an example, an important example from My Last Touches by Robert Browning. Even had you skill in a speech, which I have not, to make your will quite clear, to search and one and say just this or that, in you disgust me. Here you miss, or there exceed the mark, and if she let herself be lessoned so, no, nor plainly set her wits to yours, forsooth, and made excuse, even then would be some stooping. This is written by Robert Browning in My Last Touches. This poem also presents an example of a dramatic monologue as it has a theatrical quality in which the poet expresses his viewpoint through the speech of his character. The single speaker is addressing the servant of a count. Dramatic monologue is a type of poetry written in the form of a speech of an individual character. M.H. Ibrahims notes the following three features of the dramatic monologue as it applies to poetry. Number one, according to Ibrahim, the single person who is patiently not a poet utters the speech that makes up the whole of the poem in a specific situation at a critical moment. Number two, according to Ibrahim, this person addresses and interacts with one or more other people, but we know of the auditor's presence and what they say and do only from clues in the discourse of the single speaker. Number three, the main principle controlling the poet's choice and formulation of what the lyric speaker says is to reveal to the reader in a way that enhance its interest, the speaker's temperament and character. Now we comes to the types of the dramatic monologue. One of the most important influence on the development of the dramatic monologue is romantic poetry. However, the long personal lyrics typical of romantic period are not dramatic monologue in the sense that they do not, for the most part, imply a concentrate narrative. Poems such as William Wordsworth's Tintin Abbey and P.B. Shelley's Mont Blanc, to name two famous examples, offered a model of close psychological observation and philosophical or pseudo philosophical inquiry described in the specific setting. The conservation poems of S.T. Coleridge are perhaps the better uh, president. The Victorian period. Now we come to the Victorian period. In Victorian period, the represented the high point of the dramatic monologue in English poetry. Alfred Lord Tennyson's Ulysses has been called the first true dramatic monologue. Robert Browning, second poet, Robert Browning, produced his most famous work in this form, while My Last Duchess is the most famous of his monologue. The form dominated his writing career. The Ring and the Book, Fra Lippo Soliloquy of the Spanish Cluster, and Porphyria's Lover are just a handful of Browning's monologues. Other Victorian poets also used the form. Dante Gabriel Rosset wrote several. Christina Rosset wrote a number of dramatic monologues. Thus, so many poets were writing dramatic monologues. Some American poets have also written poems in the genre. Famous examples included Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven and the Sylvia Plath's Daddy are the dramatic monologues. Post Victorian examples included William Butler Yeats' The Gift of Harun al Rashid and T.S. Eliot's The Love Song of J. Alfred and the Geronim Nation are all other dramatic monologues. Thus, here is the huge variety and a long history of dramatic monologue.